Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Sarah and I am the mom of a 13-month-old little boy named George, and today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite baby tricks and hacks. So when I started out my parenting journey when I was pregnant in 2020 and then moving through 2021 of George's first year, now we're in 2022, I haven't had really much of a community around me physically because of COVID. So a lot of the tips received through looking online, a lot of other YouTubers kind of like me, and it's just been really helpful to see parents who are going through it at the same time, who are going through it during this crazy time, and I've picked up a lot online. So I figured I'd take all of my favorite tips and tricks and I'd put them together in one place and make a video for you, and hopefully you find some of them helpful. I certainly have. So I'm gonna start off by talking about something super basic. This is for the absolute beginner parent, okay? It's about diapering. So I have a diaper here for you to share. There's just a couple of really small things that I wanted to tell you about with the diapers. Number one, I didn't know this until I had George and I had actually been around babies when I was younger, but I didn't remember this, or maybe it's a newer thing, I don't know. So if you look up close, it's really hard to see, but there's a yellow line right here. So this yellow line means the diaper's still clean. When the baby goes pee in the diaper, this yellow line actually turns blue, the same color as these lines over here, so you'll see a blue line right in the middle. If you don't know about it, it's something to look for. You might not, if you haven't changed a diaper ever before, even know which way to put the diaper on. So most diapers, disposable diapers, have two sides, and most of them actually, if you look really close, say the word back on them. This one actually doesn't, but some of them say the word back on it, which will help. But if not, then you're looking for the side that has these little tab things. So the front side won't have them and the back side will. So you want to put the diaper on and get the tabs out and put them towards the front, okay? And then the last thing I wanted to tell you about was, I didn't know this one either. So if you look at the diaper, you'll see there's almost like little frills right around the leg area. Now when you put the diaper on the baby, sometimes those frills, and oftentimes those frills, get sort of tucked right in there. So what you want to do once it's on is just take a finger and just put a finger on the side, and it's just going to get all those frills on the outside. So you want the frills outwards, and that's going to help with blowouts. You don't want your diaper to leak at all, so you want the frills on the outside. So just take your finger and kind of do a swoop, and that'll get all the frills on the outside. While we're talking about diapering, one of my very favorite, I don't even remember where I picked this up. Now, when you're sleep deprived and have a new baby and the wipes aren't coming out right in the middle of the night, it's just a recipe for a rage disaster. I used to get so mad at the wipes and there's a solution. So when you take the wipes, they often will come out just all stuck together, right? So just like one long string of all these wipes. How to get them to come out one by one? Just put an elastic on the side of your wipe pack, and I swear they will come out one by one. So you just take one, boom, one wipe at a time. I swear it works so well, and it's so simple. Just an elastic on the side and your wipes should come out one by one. Talking about the absolute beginner parent and the new baby. So what I didn't know when I had my baby is these little outfits that the babies wear have all kinds of different little tricks inside of them, and I would have never have known. So first things first, you see standard onesie, right? If you look on the shoulders, there's little flaps. Now, I just thought they were just there for like decoration or because they look cute or something, but they actually serve a purpose. So these little flaps are actually so that you can get the shirt down and pull it off of their body rather than pull it up over their head when they've had a blowout diaper explosion, so that you don't get poop all over their face and their head, because who wants that, right? So what you do is you literally just open them up and you're able to pull the shirt down off their body that way, okay? So that's why those are there. Use them to pull it down when you've had a diaper explosion, not up over their head. Now, another cool thing, I actually don't have any of these anymore because George is older. It's more for the newborn and younger babies, but a lot of people run into issues. Babies have really tiny yet long fingernails at times, and they can be really sharp, and babies like to touch their face all the time, and they often actually accidentally scratch their face. And to cut their nails sometimes is really difficult. A lot of people don't like cutting their nails, and it's a whole thing. So what they've come up with is these mitts, right? You might have seen. So you put the mitts on. I know they're controversial. Some people say that the mitts aren't good for their hand development or something. But if you're worried about the face scratching thing, the other alternative to the mitts is actually in a lot of the long sleeve baby clothes. Like I said, I don't actually have one on me, but on the sleeve, you're gonna notice there's a little flap right here. And what you can do is you actually can flip it over their hand, so it's instead of a mitt. So you don't have to buy like mitts and tops. The top actually comes with a little flap in it, and you'll see the sleeve is pretty long so that it allows for the hand to be in there. So if you see little flaps, try just flipping it over and putting their hand in there. That'll help protect their face so that they don't scratch their face. I also had I think they're called buntings, but one of those one-piece snowsuits basically, and I was concerned his first winter, last winter, about, I got him the snowsuit, but then I got him like little mitts and little booties as well, because I didn't realize that when they're that young, the snowsuit actually comes again with the flaps for the mitts, so you just had to fold it over their hands and you don't need to buy extra mitts. And same with the feet when they're that little, because they're not walking, they don't need boots or booties, they just have the flaps you can fold right over their feet. So before you go out and buy like extra booties or mitts or anything like that, just check the actual clothing, and if they have the flaps, then you're good to go. You don't need anything else. It's just all built in one. So definitely check the construction and the material in your little one's clothes to see if they have that. A lot of them actually do, and I had no idea. I actually figured it out on my own, so I was pretty impressed with myself. Another subject I'm going to tiptoe into when we're talking about newborns and really young babies is, of course, sleep. Every single parent on the face of the planet knows that babies and sleep is like a huge thing, and if you can figure it out, then the rest is doable. So if you want to go back and check my video for how I sleep trained George, I will link that in the description and put it in the cards. But I'm not even talking about sleep training here. I'm just talking about really basic things that can help your newborn and small baby, and even older baby, really, sleep. Number one is white noise. Babies love to hear white noise because when they're in the womb, actually, I didn't realize this, you would assume that inside the womb it would be kind of muffled and kind of quiet in there, but actually with the sound of the mother's heartbeat and the blood rushing around, digestion, her voice when it's daytime, other people's voices. Believe it or not, it's said that inside the womb, it's as loud as a vacuum cleaner. So quite loud, and it's all just kind of muffly white noise. So when they come out and it's too quiet, they don't like that because they're not used to it. And that stays with us till we're adults. I know a lot of adults like white noise. In fact, I'm one of those people who has a really hard time falling asleep without the TV on for that reason. So anyways, you can actually buy these things called white noise machines. I personally bought the Dream Egg white noise machine. I will leave a link for you in the cards and the description about my Bassinet review with the Dream Egg sound machine review as a bonus in there. But it doesn't matter what kind of white noise you can find, just try it. It really does work when they're fussy, and it does help them to sleep. Before I got my white noise machine, I actually just YouTubed white noise black screen, and you can find a few different channels that literally just have white noise on it for free. There are some apps that you can download for free as well. Just make sure that it continuously goes and won't shut off after a certain amount of time, because that abrupt switch over to silence will wake them up. So white noise is a huge one in my opinion. And the other one is a blacked out room. So I know some people think, oh, you got to get them used to sleeping not in pitch black and all this stuff, but when you're desperate, you will try anything. So trust me when I say that blacking out the room totally works. And if you can't find yourself blackout curtains, now a lot of curtains on the market are considered black blackout curtains. Blackout curtains do help darken the room, but it needs to be, I'm literally talking pitch black in this room. Like if you can read something that's this close to your face, it's too light, okay? So it needs to be black, like you can't see anything. So how to achieve that in a room? For the cheapest, easiest way that I've found is, stay with me here, black garbage bags. Black garbage bags, usually 1, potentially 2 layers, depending on how, cheap your garbage bags are. Literally just tape them up to the window and it blacks out the room. It's cheap, it's easy, it's portable, you can take it anywhere. So I never leave the house in my diaper bag. Always is a roll of tape and black garbage bags, because you will try anything to get them to sleep, and the blackout really, really does help. So going off of that train of thought, when you're traveling, and yes, it's good to bring the garbage bags and such, but let's think about, for example, if you're at a hotel. I have a video of the first time I took George to a hotel, so I'll link that as well. Sorry, there's a lot of reference-y videos in this. I didn't mean for that to happen, but anyways, I will leave all the reference-y videos in the description and in the cards. Anyways, when you're traveling to a hotel, it sounds kind of weird, but it totally worked for us. You have your baby and they need to go to sleep, right? Put them in the bathroom. Put their bassinet or their crib or what have you, their travel crib, in the bathroom of the hotel. It's the easiest thing to do because that will be their separate room. It's usually blacked out in there because there's no windows, and it's away from you and everything that you're doing. And if you need to use the bathroom, then what you can do is just wait. Usually when the baby first falls asleep, it takes about 10 minutes for them to get out of that light sleep and into the deep sleep. So just to be safe, once they're asleep, wait about 15 minutes, then you can go in and you can use the washroom. Be quiet about it, obviously, and close the door so it's dark. It's the best way that I've found work, just saying. While we're talking about travel, one thing that I have discovered really works well when traveling, when he was younger and still did his diapers on his back, what we did when I traveled, I did a lot of trips, not a lot, but we did a couple of trips back and forth to Ottawa, and in the car, so the car seat is in the back seat of the car, right? And below that seat on the floor is where I set up a changing station. I just put a cushier yet waterproof diaper change pad just laid out right there. In the back of the seat, I put some diapers. In the door of the car, I have the wipes, I have baby powder, and everything I need is just all kind of right there in that well. And then when you pull off the road, if you need to do a quick diaper change, rather than trying to do it on the seat or in the back of the car, especially if you have lots of luggage, that's not going to work. And then taking them into the bathrooms, the public bathrooms. First of all, it's COVID, so you don't want to with people if you can avoid it. And second of all, it's kind of gross anyways. So this I found works really well. You just lay them down and it's pretty tight down there, so they don't squirm around too much and you can just get the job done. I found it worked really well. Speaking of, I know there's a lot of diapering, but diapering's a huge issue. Speaking of diapering, once they have started to get a little bit squirmy on you, so George started to get crazy squirmy on me when it was diaper change time. Once he started being more mobile, he did not want to lie down on his back anymore. If you think about it, it's a pretty vulnerable sort of position for them to be in, just lying on their back when they know that they don't have to be. So they don't like doing it. So they'll fight you and it's just the worst. Honestly, I used to totally dread changing George's diaper and getting him dressed for this reason. So I just had to, for both of our sakes, find another way. Now, you'll see this practice commonly used in the Montessori world, which is where I found it. But even if you're not into the Montessori stuff, just give it a try because I found it really, really helpful. And it's stand-up diapering. So stand-up diapering, I did a few times just out of pure, I had no other choice. And then I sort of embraced it and practiced it and got better. So it feels weird and difficult at first, but the more you practice it, the better you get at it, and it ends up in the end being way easier than fighting them. So what we do is I now actually just change his diaper in the bathroom, and that's just a precursor to potty training, which we're not potty training him yet, but getting him used to when we do that stuff, it happens in the bathroom. So anyways, wherever you want to do it, stand them up by a ledge like a table, or I use the toilet or a bathtub where they can have some of their favorite toys, books. I just have a little bin in the bathroom that has a couple of books in it, and of course there's all kinds of different trinkets in the bathroom that he likes to play with, so that works. And just work with them as they're playing or doing their thing and diaper them while they're standing up. It's just easier. Now, it's a little bit tougher at the beginning to try to get the hang of the tabs and stuff. The best way that I've figured out how to do it is to kind of just haphazardly put one side on, then put the other side on, and then almost go back to the first side to kind of smooth it out, go back to the second side to kind of smooth it out, and just keep going back and forth till you get it sort of how you like it. You do get better at it as it goes, but that was a good strategy. And then if all else fails, I happen to find Pampers makes these diapers called 360 Cruisers. I think they're new, and they're basically like a pull-up style but full diapers. They literally just pull on, and if you want to get them off, you don't have to pull them off. You can actually just very easily rip the sides. And especially in the beginning when I was figuring out how to do the stand-up diapering, it was just a billion times easier to try to get him to step one foot and then the other foot and pull up this diaper. Same with his pants. It's just easier to dress him when he's standing up versus try to fight him into his clothes while he's lying down or sitting down or whatever. So I just work with him and what he's doing, and we work on, I need you to lift your foot, please lift your foot, and back and forth. And at the same time we're working on listening skills and teaching him what foot is and things like that. So there's some learning opportunities wrapped up in it as a bonus. But yeah, if you're having a hard time with the little tabs, then try the 360 diaper. It's definitely helpful. Another good one about newborns and sleep is a lot of newborns, if you're rocking them to sleep or feeding them to sleep, when you put them, the second you put them on the bassinet or the surface that's cold, they will wake up. One way that I worked around that is to actually put a heating pad on the bassinet. Someone just woke up from their nap. Okay, somebody's up from their nap. So as I was saying, yes, putting a heating pad on the bassinet before you put your little one down, it helps to warm it up so they don't wake up from the cold when you put them down. And also when you're putting sheets on your crib or your bassinet, it's awesome if you layer it. So put a waterproof sheet, then a fitted sheet, then a waterproof sheet, then a fitted sheet. And that helps if you have any messes during the night, a blowout or a spit up or anything. Then you can just rip the layer off and you're good till morning, and you can deal with it in the morning. You're not having to completely remake the bed. Next up, we have some tips for when they're a little bit bigger, like this age, and when they start to eat solid foods. So with the eating of the solid foods, we do baby-led weaning, and it got really, really messy. And one of the things that he really didn't like was when I would wash his face after, or attempt to wash his face after the meal. So what I ended up starting to do is just use one of those suction bowls that sticks to the counter and just filling it up with water after the meal and just letting him play in the water, and that would help to get some of the food off to start with. So he'd start splashing and playing in the water, and that would help to clean. Yes, and that would help to clean right away. And then I would help and just get in there and kind of use that water and just kind of wash his face a little bit with my hand. And he was distracted playing with the water, so didn't care quite as much. And that really did help me to clean up the mess after lunch. So give that a try. Just give them a bowl of water to play with. And the other thing is what I started doing, I do know that they have those sort of coverall things that you can put on them, like an apron that goes over the high chair, and that helps with the messes, but they are expensive. And I found another really easy way. So with especially the high chair that I used to have, the messes were so bad and the food gets into all these little crevices of the high chair, and it's like impossible to clean. In fact, the only way I was able to clean our high chair was to put it in the bathtub and hose it down with my shower wand. But anyways, what I started doing was I just got a couple of packs of extra large black men's t-shirts and just putting them over him and the booster and the high chair, and that really helped save on messes. So like literally just put his head through the head hole and his arms through the armholes, and I put the back of the shirt over the back of the high chair and the front of the shirt just over his legs, and that way if anything falls, it just falls right onto the floor and it doesn't actually get inside the crevices. And if he starts like doing stuff behind, then that is covered and everything. So I did found it, obviously it's still a huge mess on the floor, but at least the floor is easier to clean because it's a flat surface versus trying to get in all of the crevices of the high chair. Oh yeah, one of my favorites favorites that he still enjoys is the soother clip on the keychain. So I started doing this when he was little, probably, I don't know, about like 6 months or so. He loved to play with my keys and my keychain, but he would drop them all the time. So when I was carrying him. So what I did was I just put one of those soother clips on my shirt or my jacket, and then that would have the keys so he could play with the keys. And if he did drop them, then they wouldn't fall because they'd be attached to my shirt. As he's gotten older, he started to get teething symptoms, so he needed teether, so I always had the teether on it. It's easy to see, just really handy to have that clip so you can clip it to anything. It's easy. Also, if you just have your hands full, like it's right there. So putting one of those soother clips on your keychain, super helpful. What's another tip? Let's look at our notebook. This is my bullet journal, by the way, you guys. If you haven't heard of a bullet journal, look it up. It's so helpful. I might do a video just on bullet journaling one of these days. I'm brand new to bullet journaling, so I'm still figuring it out, but so far I like it a lot. Just helps you keep track of all your lists and ideas and things for the day. Oh, clothing pods. Okay, so clothing pods is one that I saw about packing for kids. So what you can do, you can put a whole outfit together, and I found it really helpful now that I'm starting to give him some autonomy and letting him choose his own outfits, because he's obviously not gonna choose things that match like on purpose. I still want him to match and look cute, but I also want him to be able to decide. So what I do is I actually just roll up a pair of pants and a shirt. I roll it up together, and I just put the socks on either end of the roll to make like this little like clothes pod or clothes pack, and then he just picks the pack he likes. So it's like a whole outfit. It's also super helpful when packing with baby because it just keeps all their little things together in like these easy little packs of outfits. So you can put like a hat in there and mitts if they're newborns, and just all roll it up together and use the socks to contain both sides. Genius, absolutely genius. Yoga ball when they're newborn is fantastic. I used yoga ball when I was pregnant for a lot of my pregnancy because it was the only way I could get comfortable. But then after he was born, he really liked when I was bouncing on the yoga ball when he was fussy. It really calmed him down. A couple of resources I want to just touch upon. The Hamilton hold is something I would look into. It's just a way of holding your newborn so that they stop crying. Dr. Harvey Karp wrote a book called The Happiest Baby on the Block. Look up what the 5 S's are, and they are helpful for sure. The other thing I will say is it helps a lot to find yourself a community. So especially during these times of COVID, I know it's been difficult being isolated. So online resources are fantastic. You want to do what you can to not feel too alone because we're all going through this together, what have you. The more the merrier. I know they always say it takes a village, and of course these days that's not really possible. So even if you can't have a village at your disposal to do physical things like help out with the baby, you can at least have them for emotional support. You can vent to them, you can bounce ideas off each other, you can ask questions, and it really does all help. So try to stay connected. It's really important. Alright, so that's it for this video. I can't think of any other really good tips off the top of my head, but keep watching my videos. I throw them in sort of here and there and everywhere, as you saw from all my video references. Check out my other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, and the notification bell if you want to hear about other things that I have coming out. I put up videos every single Thursday at noon. Bye. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.